What's going on, guys? I want to talk to you today about how to find your dream job. I get this question a lot, especially during graduation season when people are getting out there and finally, looking for a real job in the real working world. They've got this degree, they paid all this money, and now they're like, okay, now I need to go do something with it. And it's kind of interesting. Fun fact, actually, most people that graduate from college never actually go into the field for which they did their study, which means you spent all this money and all this time and you were going to be a psychologist, or you were going to be in graphic design, or you were going to be in, I don't know, some sort of medical field, and you decide, yeah, no, don't want to do that. I want to do something different. Okay, well, here's what you do. And I tell all of my coaching clients this exact same things. You need to sit down, clean sheet of paper. You need to write down all the things that you like to do. Now, I'm not suggesting necessarily that you go in and start your own business, although that is certainly a career path. We're talking about your dream job right now. We're talking about somebody else who has already made some money, who will be willing to pay you to come do some work for them. Hopefully that will help keep you engaged enough to be able to take these tips and be able to put them to use for you. Here's what you do. Take that clean sheet of paper and you write down all your skills, all your abilities, all of the great value that you bring to the table. Now, I want you to really think about this. I know it's hard. For a lot of people, it's really challenging for us to sit down and kind of brag on ourselves, but this is kind of what we're going to do. At the end of the day, I want you to look at these things and I want you to say, this is what I'm good. I'm good with people. I'm good with talking and communicating. You're looking at the different things, the different experiences, either from what you just went through in college or what you've done in earlier jobs, maybe as you were getting through high school and into college. What did you do really well? Maybe I was really good at dealing with, irate customers, which for me was actually a skill set. Maybe it was looking at the business that I was in and going, if I was in charge, I would figure out how to sell more burgers. Or I would have helped my real estate agent, get more house listings because, if they had tried this marketing strategy or this marketing idea, or they put more effort into their social media, these are, things that, could have made a huge difference in their business. Those are all skills and abilities that you're probably not giving yourself credit for. So I want you to look at your past experience. I want you to look at your past relationships, and I want you to see, what do you bring value to? And then also, when I say relationships, I actually want you to think what your friends, your family, maybe your former coworkers have said about you. You're really easy to talk to. You always come up with solutions. You always have this unique approach to solving problems. That needs to be on the paper. All of these things really become some of your valuable assets that you can bring to the table to start to figure out, how do I figure out what my dream job is? So that's step one. You got to understand what you're working with there. And I know it can be a little scary, and I know it can be a bit of a challenge to really figure out all of those things, but this is not a 5-minute exercise. This is probably something that you're going to come back to that piece of paper over the next couple of days. You're going to add some things. Maybe you'll be like, what was I thinking when I wrote that thing down? Take that one off. No, boom, take it off. Let me replace it with this one because it's much better because I thought about it today. Or maybe just because I had so much coffee. It sounds better. Second step, I want you to start doing some research. Once you kind of figure out what you kind of like to do, what you bring to the table for a prospective employer, I want you to look wide, and then I want you to look a little bit more narrow. What I mean by wide is, I want you to think of all the career paths that you could potentially take, all the directions that you could take to find a job, and start to look at some of those industries. Maybe it's real estate, maybe it's finance, maybe it's some direction that you want to go to, start your own venture. I don't know. I'm not you, right? But at the end of the day, I want you to start to look wide at all the different things that are like, that's kind of intriguing. I'd be willing to try that. And start to build yet another piece of paper, another list of companies or industries that intrigue you. Next, and the final step I'm going to give you is, you need to now drill into those different industries. You need to drill into those individual companies, and you need to start having some conversations. I'm going to give you a very, very quick tip on how to do that. You look on LinkedIn. You figure out who works there. Look at their organizational structure on their websites. You figure out who the movers and shakers are within that company. And guess what? And you start figuring out how to reach out to them. Now, I know it seems scary. Here's what a lot of bad professionals do. They'll just try and link in with that CEO or that COO or that top marketing director. Don't do that. It's good and important for you to get a good baseline of understanding of who that person is by understanding what they've put up on LinkedIn, because that's their profile. They put it there. That's information they want to share with the world, kind of brag on themselves. You're like, hey, look how great I am. However, this is, and probably the scariest part of your job search, is you're going to have to use this thing. It's called a phone. You know, I know a lot of you use this for texting. I know a lot of you use this for checking out those TikTok videos. I do the same. Social media, etc. However, this thing actually, if you open it up and you go to this little phone thing, has a little way for you to dial. When you dial that phone, that company, you find their phone number, obviously, and then you dial that company and you ask for that person. And here's what you tell them. My name is Steve Harper, or insert your name. I have interest in learning about your organization and your company. I've recently graduated college, and I'm considering a career path in, again, fill in the blank, whatever their industry might be. And I was wondering if you'd be willing to give me 15 minutes of your time, either by phone, or I'd buy you a cup of coffee, or, you know, could come by your office. And I'd just like to ask you a few questions. Here's the thing. First of all, that person's probably not going to answer their phone. You probably get their voicemail, and that's okay. You can still leave a very similar message. But if they do answer, or they get that message, here's the thing. Nobody does this. Nobody actually reaches out to these organizations and said, hey, I caught your profile. I saw your industry. I looked at your company. I'm intrigued. I'm interested. I want to learn more. What that says about you is that you're willing to take the next extra step. You're willing to dive in to learn a little bit more about a career path and a direction. And that, my friend, is one of the secret sauces to getting the job you ultimately want. Because I can tell you, as a CEO of a tech company myself, if somebody picked up the phone, I'm not suggesting you do, please actually don't, because, you know, sometimes my phone gets crazy. But if somebody were to pick up the phone and call me and say, Steve, I'm really interested in the software space that you're in, I would like to pick your brain about that industry, that direction, how you got it started, where you got the inspiration, all of those things. And I'm just like, you know, it's all about my ego. It's all about, hey, look, you're just kind of like kissing my butt here, right? You know, because you're interested in learning about me. How am I going to be like, no, I'm sorry, my friend. I have no time to tell you how great I am and how great my industry and my company is. Nah, don't have that time. Nobody's going to do that. The nice thing about finding your dream job is that somebody that has that job is already out there, and they're probably willing to share with you how they got it. So that's my advice to you. If you want to look for your next dream job, I want you to dig in, put in the effort, understand who you are, understand what you bring to the table, and be willing to have some conversations. If you've got questions or comments, you're a little fearful, drop something down below and let me know, and I will reach out to you and we'll talk through your situation. We'll figure out how to help you get down the path of finding that dream job, because it is out there, my friends. It is out there. You're just going to have to go out and find it and grab it. Until next time, ripple on.